हो गया स्टार्ट? ठीक है। टाइम क्या हुआ 15, मतलब कि आज तो थोड़ा ही टाइम है। चलो Hello everyone, this is Pulkit Agarwal, the history faculty at the Vedanta IAS Academy. I welcome you all to the prelims session for the modern Indian history as we have been doing it. जैसे कि कल मैं बात कर रहा था, we were talking about the Swadeshi movement yesterday. We even talked about how exactly the Swadeshi movement started and what was exactly the consequence of the Swadeshi movement. ये सब चीज़ें कल हमने पढ़ी थी. Then we studied that how exactly the Swadeshi movement was divided into the two phases, that is the open phase and the underground phase. That is something which we studied in yesterday's class. Then we also studied that because of the pressure being put by the common people, right, the Britishers were actually forced to take back their decision of partition, and at the same time they shifted their capital from Calcutta to Delhi, right? So this is what we studied in yesterday's class. In between that, we also studied about a very important event which happened in the Indian history. That was the Surat split of 1907. That is something which we did in yesterday's class. So taking the thread from that class onward, I also discussed about the ideas of Gandhi, that what exactly we need to study about Gandhi, his ideology and other things, right? So we will talk about Gandhi in today's class, right? So Gandhi will be the topic of our discussion in today's class. So what we will try and do is, we will try and understand his ideology, right? What exactly was the ideology of Gandhi, and then we will also touch upon his experiences in South Africa. His experiences in South Africa that were from 1893 until 1914 or 1915. So that is something which we need to understand when we are talking about Mahatma Gandhi, right? So that is a very interesting idea about Gandhi. Okay. So let me first of all tell you the basic history of Gandhi as to where he was born, kind of education which he received, right? And what exactly happened to him after that. So as you might know, you must have studied in class 6th or 7th also, right? So Gandhi is something which we have studied for a very long time now. Gandhi as a figure is of the utmost importance in the Indian history. That is something which we need to understand. So Gandhi was born in Porbandar, Gujarat in 1869. So he was born in Gujarat in 1869, right? And what happened is, after he was born in 1869, he went to study law in England in 1881. He went on to study law in England in 1881, right? After completing his law, he came back to India and started practicing his ideas of law. He started practicing law in India, right? First of all, he moved to Bombay High Court, right? He started off there as a lawyer. But the major problem which occurred with him was that he was not able to successfully establish his practice. He was not able to consolidate his practice at the Bombay High Court. So what happened next is, he had to move back to Rajkot in Gujarat. So he had to move back to Rajkot in Gujarat, and then there he started filing petitions for people. He started writing petitions for the common people, from which he got some money. So that was the source of his livelihood, right, at the starting of his career, right. So what happened next is, the life was going on, but suddenly in 1893 he received a message from his friend in South Africa. He received a message from his friend in South Africa known as Dada Abdullah. Friend in South Africa known as Dada Abdullah. So what is of Dada Abdullah? So Dada Abdullah was a merchant in South Africa. So he was facing some legal hurdle. Over there. So in order to get over that particular legal hurdle, he called Gandhi for his rescue. So Gandhi went to South Africa, and it was Gandhi going to South Africa that actually changed the whole momentum of his life. That was exactly the life-changing experience for Gandhi, right? Once he went to South Africa, right, what he witnessed was the most disheartening things, right? The things which he witnessed, the things he was actually facing in South Africa. So all these things actually made him a kind of rebel against the government. He started to protest against the ideas of the government, right? So when he went to South Africa, so he was once traveling from a place called Durban in South Africa to Pretoria. Pretoria is again another place in South Africa. So when he had the first class ticket, right, despite having the first class ticket, he was thrown out of the train. So then what happens is, when he was thrown out of the train, he had to spend that entire chilly night at Johannesburg. Johannesburg is another place in South Africa. He had to spend the entire night at Johannesburg. लेकिन जो यहाँ समझने वाली चीज एक है, that in Johannesburg he was again subjected to another form of racism. He had to again face another idea of racism. How? That despite having the money, he was not allowed to stay inside any of the hotels. He was not given any rooms in the hotel. So that is what exactly made him one of the forerunners for getting the rights of Indians in South Africa, right? Then he researched about all these things. Then he went on to meet people. तब उन्हें पता लगा that people, especially the Indian people, are facing too much of discrimination in South Africa, like racial treatment, like they are not allowed to stay in any hotel which are exclusively reserved for the Europeans. That was another thing. Then he also got the first hand experience of that Indians were not allowed to travel in the railway compartments, right? That was another thing which he got to know. So there were various things which happened with him, which slowly and steadily made him the warrior against the British oppression, right? So what we see over here is that Gandhi going to South Africa and he himself experiencing the racial treatment from the Europeans actually made him what he later on went on to become, right? That actually made him the warrior. That is something which we need to understand when we are talking about Gandhi in the first place, that this is how exactly Gandhi became Gandhi as we now know him. So this is a very, very important idea. Sometimes in life you need to have experiences which can change your entire life. So throwing off Gandhi from the train became his life changing experience, right? So then, after getting thrown away from the train, slowly and steadily, he started to protest in the favor of Indians against various ideas, against various matters. Like Indians were actually now forced to register themselves, right, with the local authorities. Why? इसका सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग रीजन ये था, because it was meant to keep an eye on the movement of the Indians, right? अगर Indians इसके बाद registration के बाद अगर उन्हें कहीं भी बाहर और अंदर जाना है एक specified place से, then they have to take the permission from the local authorities. It is like the same thing in schools which we witnessed, that whenever we had to go to the medical room, we had to go to the bank, we had to go to the bookshop, uniform shop, right? Whenever we had to go out of the class, we needed to take out passes. So Indians were now actually forced to take out passes. So that was one of the major reasons why Gandhi came out in open. And also Indians, some of the Indians, they were given the voting rights in a province in South Africa known as the Natal province. Known as the Natal province. So in this particular province, Indians were given certain voting rights, but by 1893-94, these rights were to be taken back from Indians. Then this was the movement. This was the movement when Gandhi actually started to show his presence. This was the first instance in South Africa when he started to actually come out in the public and deal in the favor of the Indians living in that particular place, right? Then he formed a political party also known as the Natal Indian Congress. तो ये सारे experiences हुए गांधी के साथ साउथ अफ्रीका में, और भी बहुत सारे हैं. We will study about them in detail, right? तो ये सब चीजें हैं. लेकिन सबसे पहले समझने वाली चीज ये है that Gandhi was acting in a particular manner. Gandhi was not showing violence at all, right? Gandhi was not using any form of violence, and if somebody used any form of violence, what Gandhi did was to take back his movement, like we saw in the case of non-cooperation movement 1920 to 22, right? We will see. तो गांधी कहीं ना कहीं उनकी क्या आइडियोलॉजी थी, उनके किस सोशल इशू पे क्या व्यूज थे, दैट इज समथिंग विच वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल before we get into the actions done by Gandhi, right? So this is something which we need to understand in the first place, that his ideology. Okay, let's study his ideology. So his ideology was mainly seen in two writings of his, My Experiments with Truth, My Experiments with Truth, and then Hind Swaraj, right? So his basic ideas were actually given in these two particular books, as we need to understand, right? एक और interesting चीज है before I move forward. This is important for the students who still have 2 years before they give the exam, right? 2 years or 1 year before they give the exam. So what you people need to do is, you need to study, you need to read these two books properly, right? So reading of these two books properly will help you tackle the question on the ideology of Gandhi. वहाँ से आपको कहीं ना कहीं गांधी की आइडियोलॉजी के बारे में चीज़ें समझ में आ जाएंगी. So reading these two books is very, very important. This is not even a book, guys. This is not even a book. This is a pamphlet of approximately 79 to 80 pages, which hardly takes 1.5 hours to read, right? It is a form of a dialogue, right? जिसके अंदर गांधी बहुत सारे questions put up करते हैं, and then he himself answer those particular questions. So Hind Swaraj is a pamphlet. My Experiments with Truth is the autobiography of Gandhi, written by him when he was in the Yarwada jail, Pune. So this is what we need to understand. जो अभी स्टूडेंट्स who still have time to give the exams, they should start reading these two books, right? क्योंकि एग्जाम में कभी क्वेश्चन आता है कंपेयर एंड कॉन्ट्रास्ट द आइडियोलॉजीज ऑफ गांधी एंड नेहरू, राइट? तो उस टाइम पे उस क्वेश्चन को टैकल करने के लिए we need these two particular books. So that is something which we need to understand when we are talking about Gandhi as an ideology. ठीक है, तो ये होगी आपकी फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो बुक्स आपने पढ़नी है, राइट? नाउ लेट मी जस्ट गिव यू एन आइडिया कि गांधी के आइडियोलॉजी क्या क्या थी और क्या क्या नहीं थी, राइट? दैट इज समथिंग विच वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. ठीक है, अब गांधी की आइडियोलॉजी और एक रिलीजन होता है जैनिज्म, उसकी आइडियोलॉजी ऑलमोस्ट काफी हद तक सिमिलर थी, राइट? गांधी ऑल्सो बिलीव्ड इन द आइडिया ऑफ सत्य, दैट इज द ट्रुथ. ही ऑल्सो बिलीव्ड इन द आइडिया ऑफ अहिंसा, दैट इज नॉन वायलेंस, राइट? ट्रुथ एंड नॉन वायलेंस फॉर हिम were the most important ideologies, right? So he believed that everybody should speak truth, everybody should be practicing non-violence, right? For him, the truth was the most supreme thing. For him, even if the truth brings you harm, then also you should speak the true things. You should not resort to speaking anything false. That was the basic idea which was being used by Gandhi in his ideology, right? That is something which we need to understand, that truth and non-violence were, for him, were the most important thing, right? Which formed the core of his ideology. तो ये सबसे important चीज़ें हैं about Gandhi which we need to understand, right? उसके बाद जो सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट है गांधी के बारे में, that Gandhi started a new method of protest. Gandhi actually started a new method of protest known as satyagraha. New methods of protest known as satyagraha. And mind you, Satyagraha was one of the most powerful tool used by Gandhi during the freedom struggle, right? आजकल लोग जो हैं they actually say that गांधी क्या करा, गांधी ने सिर्फ लोगों को बोला शांत रहो, कुछ मत करो, ये मत करो. अरे you need to understand, as one of the scholars, Bhikkhu Parekh, Dr. Bhikkhu Parekh has a very interesting idea. Bhikkhu Parekh says that Gandhi was a shrewd baniya, right? Gandhi was a shrewd baniya, meaning he was very intelligent. गांधी जी को पता था if we start using violence against the Britishers, तो Britishers को तो एक मौका मिल जाएगा यार to attack on Indians, right? To attack the Indians who were not exactly in a position to defeat the Britishers if a direct combat happened with them, right? Because the Britishers were actually using superior technology weapons, right? Which the Indians at that particular point of time did not have. Indians were no match for their forces. तो गांधी जी ने कहीं ना कहीं एक आइडिया लगाया that we should start this whole idea of satyagraha, which he developed during South Africa campaign. Which he developed during South Africa campaign. That is something which we need to understand, right? सत्याग्रह का basically meaning होता है passive resistance for attaining ultimate truth, That is something which we need to understand when we are talking about the idea of सत्याग्रह, right? सत्याग्रह के अंदर आपको थोड़ा इलॉजिकल लग सकता है, क्योंकि ये बात मुझे भी थोड़ी इलॉजिकल लगती है, बट दिस आइडिया वाज हाईली सक्सेसफुल. अब सुनो कैसे, राइट इसमें गांधी जी ये कह रहे हैं पैसिव रेजिस्टेंस. पैसिव रेजिस्टेंस का बेसिक मीनिंग ये है दैट nobody when they are being attacked by the Britishers, that no Indian when he or she is being attacked by the Britishers should retaliate. बिल्कुल भी अपने फोर्स का यूज नहीं करना है, राइट. लेट द ब्रिटिशर्स अटैक यू in any manner they want, right? In any manner they want, they can actually attack you. You don't have to retaliate to the Britishers. So that was a basic idea promulgated by Gandhi. He said कि अगर जब होगा क्या, वो लोग आपको मारते रहेंगे मारते रहेंगे मारते रहेंगे. दिस इज नॉट मी सिंग, दिस इज गांधी सिंग. वो लोग आपको मारते रहेंगे, लेकिन अकॉर्डिंग टू गांधी कहीं ना कहीं एक पॉइंट आएगा जिसमें जो अप्रेसर है, द पर्सन हु इज अटैकिंग यू, उसका कहीं ना कहीं चेंज ऑफ हार्ट होगा, उनका एग्जैक्टली माइंडसेट चेंज होगा, उसके दिल में दया आएगी, एंड देन दैट विल लीड टू द काइंड ऑफ अचीविंग द गोल by the person who is protesting. Gandhi said by using this method of passive resistance we will be able to attain freedom, because if we also start attacking the Britishers तो कहीं ना कहीं ये होने वाला है कि Britishers भी हम पे अटैक करेंगे. then what is going to happen is that we are not able to see that particular thing through, then we will be properly defeated by the Britishers, right? So that is something which we need to understand when we are talking about the idea of satyagraha. So what we see is in the idea of satyagraha, non-violence. In the idea of satyagraha, non-violence also plays an utmost role. Non-violence is the most important thing in the idea of satyagraha. That is something which we need to understand when we are talking about this particular idea of satyagraha, right? So ये एक interesting ideas है इसके अंदर, non-violence, passive resistance, and for Gandhi, as we saw, truth is the most important thing, right? So that is something which we need to understand in the first place, right? Okay. Now let's move on to the other aspects of his ideology. Other aspects of his ideology. Other aspects of his ideology included Swadeshi. Charkha program was a part of this idea, right? So Gandhi said, if a country has to attain freedom from the oppressive foreign rule, what we need to be self-sufficient, right? So self-sufficient is a very, very important term which is coming in news these days, which has been spoken by the Prime Minister of India, right? So self-sufficient, Atmanirbhar, these are the two important ideas which were being given by Gandhi, right? Gandhi said if a country has to attain freedom from the foreign rule, सबसे पहले उसे क्या करना पड़ेगा? It has to become self-sufficient, it has to become आत्मनिर्भर, right? उसके लिए सबसे important क्या है? That we should start producing things for our own use. जैसे हमें कपड़े पहनने हैं तो we should start producing clothes on our own. So therefore Khadi was a major program started by Gandhi. So whenever Gandhi was actually taking a break from his movements, so what he did was he used to do constructive things. He used to tell people, he used to encourage them that you should actually weave cloth in the charkha, right? So he's slowly and steadily, the symbol of khadi then became the major idea of the Indian freedom struggle. People started to wear khadi as a symbol of protest against the Britishers. I'll tell you one very interesting instance. one day I was watching this web series on Old Balaji, which was known as Bose Dead or Alive, right? I was watching that particular web series. So what happens is, if I remember correctly, Subhash Chandra Bose, during the time of non-cooperation movement, he went on to meet Viceroy. And what happens is, he went on with the homemade clothes, right? He went on with the homemade clothes, so therefore he was not given entry. He was told to leave that particular thing outside and then enter that particular room, right? तो अब क्या हुआ, सुभाष चंद्र बोस entered the room. So suddenly क्या है, he was looking for the correct opportunity. So next thing which happened was that the viceroy now wanted a handkerchief to actually wipe his face. So Subhash Chandra Bose went up to him and offered him a handkerchief which was made out of khadi, which was made by the Indians, right? So he said, आपने पसीना तो बहुत बार पूछा होगा, अब आप आज हिंदुस्तानी खादी से बने रुमाल से पसीना पोंछिए. So this actually terrified the viceroy. Viceroy was not able to react for a very long time. He was not able to understand ki how exactly such a modest symbol as khadi has become synonymous with the Indian freedom struggle. So that was something which he failed to understand, and that is something which we need to see, that khadi was one of the things which was propagated by Gandhi in his whole idea of Swadeshi. So this is something which we need to understand, right? So Swadeshi was another aspect of Gandhi which we need to understand, right? Okay. Then what we saw also was Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya or Ram Rajya. Sarvodaya or Ram Rajya was another concept which was given by Gandhi. Sarvodaya का मतलब होता है welfare of all the sections of the society, especially the lower ones, right? Welfare of all the sections of the society, especially the lower ones. So in the exam once, they had actually asked the meaning, that what do you understand by the terminology Sarvodaya? So Sarvodaya means, you get the answer over here, that it means the welfare of all the sections of the society, especially the lower ones, right? तो गांधी ने ये आइडिया दिया, राइट? सर्वोदय के साथ साथ गांधी ने इसके साथ एक और चीज जोड़ दी, विच इज नोन एज द राम राज्य, That is something which we need to understand when we are talking about the whole idea of Ram Rajya. Ki Ram Rajya ke andar, like we people now can actually find it very illogical. Like this was something which was given by Gandhi. So we have to study this particular idea. So Ram Rajya ke andar, what Gandhi actually said was that Gandhi said we need minimum amount of governance. We need minimum amount of governance, that is, the state should not interfere in the daily matters of common people, right? State should not interfere in the daily matters of the common people. That is the basic idea when we talk about Ram Rajya, right? So this is what you need to understand. तो इसमें गांधी जी बेसिकली ये कहना चाहते हैं that the role of the government in any society, especially talking about the Indian society, that should be the lowest. State should not interfere at all, because for him, if we have a more state control, if we have a more centralized control in the society, सो उस सेंट्रलाइज कंट्रोल को मेंटेन करने के लिए द गवर्नमेंट विल बी यूजिंग फोर्स, राइट. कहीं ना कहीं गवर्नमेंट अगर अपना रूल मेंटेन करना चाहती है, सो इट नीड्स टू actually use force on the people. Only then it will be able to actually control the people. It has to use its judiciary, it has to use its police and everything. So that is what Gandhi said, that we do not need too much of policing on the people. What people will do is they will be able to control themselves. People will become so aware that they will keep a proper idea कि किसके rights क्या हैं और हम दूसरे के राइट्स में एग्जैक्टली इंटरफेयर ना करें. दैट वाज द आइडिया विच गांधी एनवाइसेस्ड, ठीक है, कि एवरीबडी शुड बी लिविंग हैप्पीली, नोबडी शुड बी इंटरफेयरिंग इन द आइडियाज ऑफ और इन द राइट्स ऑफ अदर पीपल, राइट. और साथ साथ में ऑल्सो अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम व्हाट ही सेड वाज दैट द रिच पीपल ऑफ द सोसाइटी, दैट द रिच पीपल ऑफ द सोसाइटी they should actually share their wealth with the poor people of the society. For Gandhi, poor people of the society will vanish in the sense that their poverty will vanish, not the people, but the poverty will vanish once an equal distribution of wealth takes place. तो गांधी ने वो कहा कैसे होगी? According to Gandhi, that particular thing will happen once the rich people also become aware of all these things. So that is something which was there in the idea of Ram Rajya, right? So we need, so for Ram Rajya we can add another thing also, stateless and classless society. Stateless and classless society, that is something which we need to understand when we are talking about the idea of Ram Rajya. I know you people must be finding it very illogical in the sense that how exactly a rich man will share his wealth with anyone, right? He will not do that, right? But what we need to understand is that Gandhi, when he was giving his ideas, they might not be practical at every point, right? So that was the biggest problem, that sometimes his ideas were more centered upon the utopia. Utopia का मतलब होता है that a perfect society, right? There is no problem in any society. So his idea of Ram Rajya can be seen as an example of utopia, in which he wanted everyone to share their wealth, in which he wanted that everyone should maintain law and order according to themselves. So that was the basic idea which Gandhi was actually talking about in his ideologies, in his book. That is something which we need to understand, right? Okay, now let's move on to other ideas of Gandhi, right? Let's move on to other ideas of Gandhi. That was on untouchability, right? Now we will see that what exactly were the ideas of Gandhi on untouchability, right? इसमें सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग लाइन जो उन्होंने कही वो कही, it is the crime against humanity. It is the crime against humanity. That is the idea which was being proposed by Gandhi in his ideology of untouchability. First of all, for those of us who do not understand the meaning of untouchability, we need to discuss this, and then we will come to what Gandhi has actually said, right? So untouchability का basic idea ये होता है that you start to discriminate against certain sections of the society. You do not treat them as equal. You leave treating them as equal. What you start doing is you start to discriminate so much that even their sight of these people is treated as something of a crime. Like if these people come out in front of you, it is treated as a crime by the upper caste people. Ab jaise I'll tell you an example. This is even practiced today, I'll tell you. So what happened in untouchability is, that if an untouchable, right, has to enter the main area of say some village, so what he needs to do is he needs to carry a stick, like suppose this is a stick, and on this particular stick he has to kind of attach some ghungru, right, attach some ghungru, and when he is moving he has to actually tap that particular stick, और उससे tapping से क्या होगा, by tapping that particular stick what is going to happen is that he will actually tell others कि मैं आ रहा हूँ, ठीक है, अब मैं आ रहा हूँ, तो उससे क्या, उससे ये जो अपकास्ट लोग हैं वो ये मानते थे अगर हमने एक लोअर कास्ट या अनटचेबल को देख भी लिया तो हमारा धर्म जो है वो भ्रष्ट हो जाएगा, राइट। तो इससे वो क्या करते थे, घुंघरू की आवाज़ जैसी आई उन्होंने अपनी आंखों पे हाथ रख लिया, राइट, उन्होंने अपनी आंखों पे हाथ रख लिया, तो उन्होंने अनटचेबल को नहीं देखा। अगर गलती से अनटचेबल को उन्होंने देख लिया तो सबसे पहले तो अनटचेबल की पिटाई होती थी, देन दीज पीपल रश बैक टू देयर हाउसेस टू टेक अ बाथ, राइट। सो दैट इज द आइडिया which was there for untouchability. It is not something which has ended, it is something which is still there in our Indian society, right? So ये हमें एक चीज़ें समझने वाली हैं कि untouchability अभी भी है Indian society में, but Gandhi said this is a crime against society, right? For him humanity was the biggest thing, for him there was nothing above humanity, and for him उसके ऊपर कुछ भी नहीं है, and we should treat everyone as equal. तो ये बात है which we need to understand, right? साथ साथ में क्या है, because of the efforts of Gandhi after freedom, so untouchability was declared as crime under Article 17 of the Indian Constitution, right? Under Article 17 of the Indian Constitution, untouchability was then declared as a crime, right? That is something which we need to understand when we are talking about the idea of Gandhi on untouchability, right? उसके बाद उनके दो बेसिक चीज़ों पे आइडियाज और देखने हैं हमें, that is the status of women, that what exactly Gandhi talked about in the case of status of women, right? Okay, सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट यहां पर यह है कि when he talks about women, he said that there should be a perfect equality between men and women, perfect equality between men and women. That was the thing which he talked about when he was talking about the status of women in the Indian society. For him, they should also be given equal right of freedom and life, right? अब होता क्या है, in the Indian society the women is actually treated as a weaker section, right? They're not treated as equal to men, right? So that is something which was even more prevalent in the patriarchal society of the early 20th century. Although the society of India is still patriarchal, but the point is we are changing, right? We are making a good progress towards the achievement of equality, right? So that is something which we need to understand, right? So that is why we saw the emergence of feminist movements. But the point is, the original motive of feminism was to get the rights for women, right? Was to get the equal rights for women. But now that feminism has been reduced to a cosmetic feminism, nobody is actually talking about the real issues. They just want to project themselves as rebel, and they don't want to change the mindset of the people. That is the problem we encounter with the feminism of today's scenario, right? Drinking, smoking is actually seen as a symbol of freedom, right? Disrespecting others, disrespecting elders, that is seen as a symbol of coolness by the feminist people. That is something we need to be wary about. Feminism is actually having and equality in the society. Everybody should be equal, right? Feminism is not about actually just projecting your own rights. Rights से क्या है? Just if you are just doing things at the cosmetic level, you are not actually able to do things at the core. You are not able to change the mindset of the people, right? If you are not able to change the mindset of the people, then what is the use of all this feminism, right? So that is what I teach when I teach in college, right? So this might be seen as a question in the mains exam on the women's issues, right? So that is something which you need to be clarified about, right? So Gandhi said there should be a perfect equality. Everybody should be given equal right and everything, and that was the basic thing which was given by Gandhi in his ideas, right? And then Gandhi also has a very specific idea on education. He had a very specific idea on education. But before that, before I move on to education, I just need to add one more thing in the whole aspect of untouchability, that when people were practicing untouchability, they used to call these people by various names, right? Various very derogatory names which I can't even say in front of a camera, but they used to take very derogatory names. So then Gandhi, what he did was, he actually gave them a very respectable name known as Harijan. Harijan meaning people of the God. So that is something of a respectable name which he gave to the people, right, who were considered as untouchables. I know many questions might be brewing inside your mind, that how exactly a tag like Harijan also discriminates against them. But for us right now, it is not the point of concern, right? That is a debate which we can actually reserve for some other day. But at the same time, what we need to understand is, this was the idea which was given by Gandhi. And last thing in his ideology wala topic is on education. On education, right? That is something which we need to understand when we are talking about Gandhi's ideology. For Gandhi, education was not something जो किताबें पढ़ ली and then it's considered as educated. But for him, education was something in which you read books, and at the same time you are also having practical experiences, right? Practical experiences for him, like the manual labor, like he said, when the people are learning things, when the people are going to school, they should be given some practical training, like the woodwork, or they should be taught something which will be beneficial in getting a proper job, or which will be at least beneficial in understanding or letting people know कि जो वो पढ़ रहे हैं, that is useful for their future. So for Gandhi, education was not only about reading books, it was reading plus practical experience. It was reading plus practical experience, which becomes very important. That is something which we need to understand when we are talking about Gandhi's idea of education. And this particular thing, reading plus practical experience, that was also seen in one of the programs which was given by him, known as the Vardha Scheme of Education. Vardha Scheme of Education, 1937, right? Vardha Scheme of Education, 1937. So for him, in this particular idea of education, he said people should be taught something about their country, and at the same time they should be educated, they should be taught a skill which will be helpful for them later in their life. If you people remember, when we were in school, we used to have weekly 2 classes of SUPW, right? In that particular thing, we were actually being told, or you can say forced, to learn something of a new skill. Like we had tabla, we had Indian music, Western music, we had this German language, French language, we had woodwork, school band, art and craft, cleanliness, cooking. All these things were actually there in the SUPW classes. So SUPW classes were something which were meant to educate the students in the practical way of life. So this is what Gandhi was actually trying to say when he said that we need to promote a different style of education which is going on right now. So that was something which was being told by Gandhi to the people. Just to summarize the today's class, what we also need to understand is that Gandhi was against various things like we saw in his book Hind Swaraj. In Hind Swaraj, he is against the Western medicine. He is against the parliamentary system of government, right? He is against doctors. He is against lawyers. So he is against the big industries. He says whatever we produce should be produced within a village economy. For him, the village should be the center of all the economic activities in the society, right? For him, there is no need for big industries. For him, there is no need for too much of governance. For him, there is no need for any big industries, Western medicine. For him, what was the most important thing was that we should look into the Indian civilization and try and find things which will be useful for us. So that was the basic ideology of Gandhian ideas. एक दो चीजें हैं which I don't agree with that of Gandhi, like his ideas on the Varna system. When we talk about his ideas on the Varna system, what we need to see is Gandhi actually never criticized this whole idea. Gandhi actually propagated this idea when he said that everybody should indulge in their hereditary work. Hereditary work meaning that what exactly was the profession of their parents, the children should also try and follow those particular professions. So in that particular manner, a balance in the society could be maintained. So that was an ideology of Gandhi which I had problem with, right? Otherwise, except for Ram Rajya wala idea, right, most of his ideology is something which we can follow in the real life even today. So that was everything about the Gandhian ideology. In the next class, that is on Monday, we will start doing his movements in South Africa, as I have given an overview of South Africa today itself only. So we will be touching upon certain points in South Africa. Then we will be moving on towards your Gandhi in India, right? So that will be the plan of action for the next week. So I'll see you people in the next class. Thank you.